Welcome to How to Garden. What I'm doing here, setting up to see if I can't see any of the pollinators come in without me actually being out here. So there's not really going to be much audio, except for frogs, things like that. But I will be in the chat momentarily once I get back inside and I set things up. Welcome to How to Garden. Tonight's topic is gardening in this Florida tropical heat. And the beautiful show going on behind me. This is my Peruvian apple cactus. That's, excuse me a minute, I want to get myself a snack. This is the apple. Internally, it's just like a dragon fruit. It's not quite as sweet. It doesn't have as high a sugar content, but it's really, really close. Now, one of the things I do this time of year is it's just entirely too hot for me to be out working in the garden, except for the early morning and at night. So I actually do a lot of my gardening during the summer. This time of night, I literally have lights that I set up and I go work in an area. Sometimes this bothers my neighbors, sometimes it don't. Fortunately, the people that live immediately next door to me don't seem to mind. But I have had complaints in the past about me being outside at midnight working in my garden. They think it's kind of weird. Of course, these are people that stay inside all the time. The only experience of outside is walking from their house to their car and then driving work, and then they come back and they walk from their car back to their house and anywhere they go. They don't really go outside. Now, that's not terribly uncommon for here in Florida for people just to avoid outside during the summer. Now, we're a little cooler this August than normal. Normally, we're dealing with 95 to 98 degree heat. Instead, we're dealing with 91 to 95. So that's a plus. But it's still way too hot during the day, unless it's raining. And then, of course, who really wants to be outside working in a thunderstorm? One of the big things I'm doing this time of year is I'm bringing in my mulch. And I'm bringing in leaves. It's a major battle with the grass. If I don't mow pretty much constantly, it'll get away from me. So that occupies a lot of my time. I try not to mow at night because, well, you don't want a noise complaint. But I spend a lot of time mowing, and I need to walk around with my shears and cut down some of the unwanted plants. I've actually been in a battle with this particular plant for years. I let it grow one year because it's in the hibiscus family. It's got really pretty small hibiscus flowers that are pink, sometimes yellow. I was like, oh, great. Pretty flower. Bad mistake, because not only do they pop up everywhere, but their seeds are incredibly annoying. That frog has something to say. So it's been near impossible to deal with. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It is and it isn't. Every one of them I cut down is that much more biomatter I'm adding into this food forestry system that I have going on here. I set up the camera originally because I was hoping to catch a bat that I'd been seeing earlier that was flitting around over here right after sunset. So I was hoping to come over here, set up the lights, and maybe see the bat, but I have not seen any evidence of that bat whatsoever since I set it up. So I thought I'd come out and talk. Now, the way I had the camera set up right now, I can't see the chat at all. So hopefully my moderators take care of any troublemakers that come around. Everybody that I have as a moderator is somebody that I know, so that should not be an issue. Over the next 3 to 4 weeks, the main goal in this food forest will be for me to make biochar, start my seeds for my fall gardening. Just tomato, cucumber, squash. Not really entirely sure what all I'm going to do. I did plant a whole lot of seed that was tomatoes, and I did a whole bunch of pumpkins already. The thing with every year when I do the pumpkins is I have to worry about the rats and the squirrels from the woods coming over here and stealing the seed or eating the small seedlings. They tend not to touch the tomato seedlings, but they really like my squash and pumpkin seeds. They will dig them up, whether I bury them in the ground or I have them in starters. So even as it is now, I planted something like 64 starts. I'd say about 60% of those seeds are already gone. Yeah, it was a very large bug that landed next to me. Gotta love Florida. I'm also going to go and dig out the last of my compost that I have and get that out here. I need to get a decent amount of manure. So I'll be searching online for one of the ladies that I know and see which one of them is putting out their horse manure right now. Of course, it's all got to be tested, so I need to get on that probably in the next week or so. The more manure I get out here, the better it will be for larger things that I'm planning on growing. I'm hoping to have a really decent amount of tomatoes this year and a decent amount of squash. For me, that planting is in September. Where everybody else will be winding down, I'll just be getting going. See, the vegetable season here in Florida starts in September and goes throughout the winter. This time of year, I'm harvesting, I'm gardening. But a lot of what I'm doing this time of year is prepping for the fall and harvesting stuff from my trees, such as mulberries earlier in the season, and then peaches, and then plums. I just harvested my last mango. I got some pineapple. I've got my apple cactus. I've got bananas, which I should be harvesting at least one of those racks of bananas. Probably in about 2 months. As a general rule of thumb, it takes about 6 months for bananas to mature. So I've got one banana tree that's got a really nice rack of bananas on it right now that I'm looking forward to. And I've got another banana tree that's just starting to put out its blooms. So tomorrow I'll walk around where I can see it because I can't see it from the food forest right now. I need to get some trimming and deal with some biomatter. But it put out its flag leaf just the other day, and I'm going to go around and capture what's going on. Now, I have some noises on the other side of my light that I need to check out. Great when you hear things, but you can't see on the other side of the light where it's coming from. Just the other night, I had come out here at like 4 o'clock in the morning because there was a horrible ruckus going on at my chicken coop. That's bad. Now, I expected to find some of the Florida roof rats. They come in out of the woods, and then I've got a canal behind me. They'll move up and down the canal. I'll never get rid of them completely. What I found instead was a juvenile possum inside my chicken coop, and it decided it was going to tangle with one of my chickens. So not only was my chicken kicking its butt in the dark, then it had to deal with me kicking its butt in the dark. Now, hopefully, it won't be coming back. But I went ahead and changed the way I was securing the coop so that it can't get in there. I also cut off the free corn to the roof rats that were training in there. But when I did that, the roof rats started hunting down fruit, because these guys are basically squirrels. They spend more time in the trees than they do on the ground. I've been up in my trees. Right behind the camera, I have my American red mulberry, and it's starting to put out its fall mulberries. They've been in that tree after the mulberries, and they've been in my elderberry tree after those berries. Now, I really need to get on harvesting me some elderberries so I can make me some elderberry syrup this year. So that might be something I can do tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. I have a couple other projects that I'm working on, so I don't know if I'll have the time. Well, there's definitely something on the other side of my food forest moving around. I haven't managed to see it yet, but I can hear it. And of course, I've always got the chorus of frogs. Now, with the house being built 2 lots down from me, that really kind of disturbed the ecosystem here. Every time they clear a lot nearby, it drives all the pests right over here because it's kind of like a safe haven for them. Unfortunately, not all of them can stay here. I don't have near the production or the space to have a couple thousand roof rats over here. That doesn't even include the squirrels, possum, raccoons, snakes, mice. And it seems like pretty much all the frogs that were over there are now over here in my trees. Because it's a lot noisier in my backyard now than it was before they cleared it out. Once they cleared it out, it seemed like all the frogs came over here. I am hoping that I will get a type of pollinator on camera. All right, that wasn't a frog behind me. That was something else. I've also got a rabbit in here, a couple of them, but one in particular that I see on a regular basis. So I've got a little brown swamp rabbit, little brown cottontail, that pretty much lives in my yard. And it's one of multiple generations that have lived in my yard for years. However, here lately, I've been seeing a little gray rabbit. That one's new because they're always the little brown rabbits. And now I've got a little gray cottontail. They're not exactly the same species, although they are capable of breeding. Normally speaking, when I see the rabbit, it's over in the center area, which I keep cleared out, and it's grass. I'm not entirely sure where its burrow is. It used to be almost immediately behind where this camera is, but I cleared that area out so that I could keep or create a propagation area that's under the shade. It was probably just a rabbit, but there's definitely a couple things moving around out here at night. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't get to stay on for all that long. I do have some things I need to do earlier in the day. I am going to leave this run for a little while. Maybe you'll get to see something come out, and I'll be in the chat on my laptop so I can watch what's going on out here. Everybody, you have a good night. Alright, folks, that's going to be it tonight. That's going to be it tonight. I'm going to have to shut it down. Everybody who came in, thank you. Didn't see a thing, really. I saw some moths. I was hoping to catch a bat because there was a bat that was coming around right after dark. And I really wanted to catch the bat on camera. But I guess that's not going to happen. Walk around out front here real quick. Take me a minute to get there. But as a general rule, here lately I've had a very large spider hanging out in my front garden. Some of the nice flowers I got going on. But we'll walk around out front. It'll take me a second to get there. This is my food forest at night. Mulberry tree's got mulberries on it. See some right there. I have to get me a ladder and come pick me some mulberries tomorrow. Love my mulberry trees. They're fantastic. All right. Got to navigate through miscellaneous to get out of here. And somewhere along the lines, I found an ant bed. Seems like I was losing signal there for a minute. This is my Franken mower. And it's made from the parts of 4 different lawnmowers. Runs pretty good though. Fire ants. This guy really doesn't seem to like me lighting him up. Technically, this would be a girl. And it looks like it has something that it's munching on. It's got some type of beetle or something. She has been setting up every night for about a week, week and a half, something like that now. And that's the guy that was sneaking around behind me that scared me earlier. This is my side food forest. Gotta be careful where I walk at this time of night. This is my cotton plant. That nice bloom will put out some nice cotton. It's gonna bloom pretty good. There's my bananas. Right. That is a blue Java. See how they got bluish color to them? So when, and it's like a bright blue color. That's not what they actually do. Something about the spot. It does not like that spot. Which is weird because I've done quite a few live streams right at that spot. Yeah, it's doing its job. Looks like something pretty big came through and knocked a nice sized hole in its web. But it's definitely eating something. All right, folks, that'll be it for the night. I'm going to call it a night. I do got some things I need to do before I head to bed, and then I need to head to bed. Everyone who came in, thank you very much. You have a great evening.